the NYPD was searching for the suspect in the subway shooting yesterday. There were more than a dozen shootings in the city last night, and not to mention the shootings that we've seen recently of young, innocent people, some older as well, being shot on the streets of New York. How do you get a handle on this crime in this city, Mr. Mayor?
By being consistent with our message. Here's my question that I put out to the city. Hey, I thought Black Lives Matter. Where are all those who stated Black Lives Matter? Then go do an analysis of who was killed or shot last night. I was up all night speaking to my commanders in the Bronx, in Brooklyn. The victims were Black. Many of the shooters were Black. So I asked the question that was asking me when I was a child. It's 10 a.m., 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? Why are 16, 17, and 18-year-olds out in our streets armed with guns 12, 1 o'clock at night? When are we going to start asking these serious questions? If Black Lives Matters, then the thousands of people I saw on the street when Floyd was murdered should be on the street right now stating that the lives of these Black children that are dying every night matters. We can't be hypocrites.
Allow me to educate Mayor Adams about Black Lives Matter because he seems to be a little bit misinformed. He's sitting there on that news station saying, where's the consistency? How come you're not showing up for all these young adults losing their lives? Where are your children? Why aren't you caring about this? Where's the Black Lives Matter organization? No, Mr. Adams, you are misinformed. You see, Black Lives Matter is not about every single Black life that is taken. No. It's only in regards to police brutality.
The Black Lives Matter movement was started because it was talking about police brutality. If you want an all Black Lives Matter movement that talks about gun violence in communities, including, Black communities, then start that movement with that name.
But not just any police brutality at the hands of those evil white men. If you notice, every single time Black Lives Matter, Ben Crump, Al Sharpton, all them ugly ass women who bought all them mansions, you notice when they show up and get everybody to stand firm, hold their fist in the air and say, hoorah, let's care about Black lives for a couple of minutes, is when it's the white guy that's the perpetrator. Any other instance of a Black person, whether if it's a grown Black man, a grown Black woman, little Black girl, little Black boy, little infant child losing their life, and the perpetrator is a Black person, whether if it be male, teenage boy, teenage girl, grown woman, oh no. We can't talk about that. That's not national news. That's not a headline we can sit and stomach because that doesn't go along with the narrative that white supremacy is the only plague that exists in the Black community. Let's for a second think about that. Let's say we somehow get rid of all white supremacy, oppression, and racism, yet Black lives are still being lost. What's the spin gonna be at that point? Is it to say now we're going to care about this? Now is the perfect time to talk about the infighting in the Black community? I think that's a dumbass idea because I feel you could talk about multiple things and try to accomplish multiple things at the same time. You don't have to sit there and spend years trying to get people to understand that the only thing that's killing a Black man is a white cop while you got a bunch of Black men dying at the hands of other Black men. And then once you magically get rid of that, you then say, oh my God, look at this new problem we have in the Black community. I've never noticed this before. When did you get here? Oh, I don't like you. I think we should do something about you. It is embarrassing how for years this organization has convinced a lot of people older and younger that the only thing going on is to be in fear of a white cop. It is completely asinine. And now the hot trend is, where is Black Lives Matter? Where is this organization? I thought they cared about Black lives. You dumb, silly fools. Many people, not just me, have said this organization is a scam. I at least held hope that people cared enough about the words to sit there and say, hey, a Black life being lost, no matter who's the perpetrator, we should care about this. We should stand up and try to seek justice. We should get more information. But no, regular people people don't do that. The people who say, oh, I don't support the organization, but I support the words, you don't do that either. Because I could give you a list of names you've never heard of that are victims, that are children that have been taken out by black people, and you still won't sit there and spend your time putting the hashtag up, sharing the post, making sure everybody sees it, but you'll spend all that fucking time posting a black square thinking you're the hero of the century. It is embarrassing that this organization has conned a lot of y'all out of millions of dollars, and all they were able to do with that is hide the fact that they were buying mansions and buy another mansion, hide that for 2 years, and the only thing they could say about it is that it's for content creation. And I have to say, again, you don't need to buy a mansion for content creation. This is not the Owl House. This is not any of them social media groups getting together, buying a house, and then one of them beats the other one and they all quit and leave. This is supposed to be something that's to help the black community. A random 10-minute video about makeup, vlogging, anything that involves food, being in a mansion is not going to save the black community. Eric Adams asks the right questions. Where's the consistency? We can't be hypocrites. Where y'all at? And the honest answer you gonna get is they somewhere else worrying about a black guy being taken out by a white cop justifiably because he wanted to resist arrest and hold a taser and not let it go. So if we're going to be a little bit honest, when's the game going to end? When are we going to say, hey, Patrice Cullors and the rest of these bitches, Al Sharpton, Ben Crump, anybody else that puts on a suit, stands in front of a podium once a month and says, we must continue the fight for black people. This thing that's constantly happening is going to keep happening unless we shake justice. Where are you? It's an honest question. Where you at? You're nowhere to be found any other time. You disappear for months once Orange Man stops tweeting. Then you just show up at random because something fits your narrative that allows you to put on that $2 suit and stand up and say, we're fighting for the family and we're doing what needs to be done. Where you at after the fact? Because guess what? No matter how much y'all want to spin this, no matter how much y'all want to say, oh, you have internalized racism, no matter how much you want to call me a coon, no matter how much you want to sit there and say I'm bigoted, I'm racist, whatever you want to call it, black lives are still being lost. And guess what? White people ain't the only ones that's taking them out. So where you at? Where's the consistency? How come when this thing in Brooklyn happened, you had people saying, oh, this is another form of white rage, but when it was identified as a black male, this story immediately just died like that because the narrative of white people, white supremacy, white rage, white terrorism, it didn't fit. So all these wannabe heroes, journalists, activists, nowhere to be found. Not holding the same standards, not standing up and saying, hey, you are somehow a piece of shit and you belong in jail. All them videos I saw of this piece of shit saying all this derogatory shit about everybody, yeah, that's a motive as to why he might decide to go into a train and do some dumb shit like that. But no. We gotta still focus about all this white supremacy that's looming over here, because if we don't talk about it, it will continue to be a problem. How is it that you could sit there and make excuses for a grown man who is black driving a van through a parade of people and not say anything about that?
Police say Daryl Brooks plowed this maroon SUV through a crowd of parade participants and onlookers in Waukesha, Wisconsin Sunday, injuring more than 40 people, including 18 children, 6 still in critical condition. Brooks now charged with 5 counts of first-degree intentional homicide.
Investigators say that Brooks was involved in a domestic disturbance early Sunday and smashed through barricades when police tried to stop him.
Brooks was out on bond after police say he ran over the mother of his child earlier this month. He has a lengthy criminal history with charges dating back to 1999. If convicted on the intentional homicide charges, he could face up to life in prison.
We have about 10 to 15 people down in the street. We also got multiple critical cases.
Police say an officer shot at the SUV to try to stop it, but had to stop firing to avoid the crowd. The 5 victims who died range in age between 52 to 81 years old.
But I had to hear so long about how Kyle Rittenhouse magically shot 3 black people, and that is another form of white oppression and supremacy because he acted in self-defense, and a bunch of dumbass black people can't cope with the fact that that was true. It is embarrassing how an organization and a movement tries so hard to make sense, but simple logic just breaks all that shit down. It is embarrassing that a lot of people stick to this movement, even after they disappear, after they get the millions of dollars and the black community is still smelling like shit. After all this so-called work is put in and nothing is done and black lives are still being lost, where is the consistency? I'll tell you where it is. It's up my ass and around the corner because I'm about to shit it out. It's embarrassing that this is still a thing. And I used to hope that a bunch of people would start to realize this and stop playing this game. But people like to have that carrot dangled in front of their face. They like being fooled. They like being tricked. They like being fucked. And if that's the way they want to go about it, that's a shame on them. The hypocrites are eventually going to fall. Their credibility is going to die. And there's going to be nothing left but a dude with a flat top and a Rugrat shirt laughing at all of y'all, because consistency ain't key. And as long as I have to live in a world where I have to be making sure that I'm taken out by a white guy in order for my black life to matter, yeah, that's fucking sad. So subscribe to the channel. Hypocrites, continue doing your weird little dance and justifications. I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye.